Hey there, Leo. Welcome to your reading for this period. You have this tall tale card and this exposed and revealed card. So, literally a lie could be being revealed to you at this time, or you could be getting the truth of a situation. That tall tale card obviously represents someone who told you a tall tale, and the exposed and revealed card obviously could be that being exposed. So, there could be some sort of truth that's coming out. I also like, you have the world here and you have the Wheel of Fortune and all these cards. It's actually a good reading so far, and you have the star now. So this tall tale, this could be a lie that you're telling yourself or, something that you believe to be true that isn't true. So, definitely something that I would think about here with this reading. Let's see where this is going. There's definitely, I would say that you have the Wheel of Fortune with the Nine of Swords, and so this would represent some sort of cycle that needs to come to an end. The Nine of Swords is a never-ending nightmare. It's like going to bed, having a nightmare, waking up, being stuck in a nightmare. The Wheel of Fortune can be any type of cycle or period in your life. I think that the Wheel of Fortune is a good card, but, I feel that people make it better than it actually is. It's a good card, but, I take everything into account when I'm reading and doing a reading, and you have that Nine of Swords. So this is definitely like a nightmare that needs to come to an end in your life. And the thing about the Wheel of Fortune is that it's a choice. We can choose where we live on the wheel, and we want to live at the center of the wheel because when we live at the center of the wheel, it's like no longer is life happening to us, we are happening to life, right? We take control when we live at the center of the wheel. And we can do that by doing a few things. Number one, we can take care of challenges when they pop up very quickly. We can also double down on the good stuff very quickly as well. We can also face our fears. We have this snake right here, and snakes are guardians of portals, and so snakes represent fear. And with the Wheel of Fortune and the world, because the world is also a portal card, like you have the world in the area of your thoughts, which tells me that you are thinking about going through a portal. You are thinking about making a change or accomplishing something or doing something. We'll talk about it in a minute. And I feel that there could be some sort of repeat fear that you are worrying about that you need to face to be able to make this happen. The thing about the Nine of Swords is that this person here just isn't doing anything. It's like they're just sitting there worrying about a fear. They're not doing anything to correct it, they're not doing anything to overcome it, they're just sitting in pain. I always say that, the Nine of Swords to me is the worst card in the tarot because of that reason. He is in pain, but he's not in enough pain to make a change, and so his life is just staying the same. And the Nine of Swords basically says we have to make a change before the pain gets so great that we are forced to make a change, right? And so that's kind of what I feel for you here, Leo. And I'm not saying it's like pain, but, with the Wheel of Fortune, the world, the star, the sun, very good cards, and so there's clearly something that you want. But there could also be fears attached to it. If it's love, for example, maybe you want love deep down inside, but you could be fearing what will happen, if the person hurt you or this, that, or the other thing happens. And the Nine of Swords says, well, those things could always happen. Number one, it's always a risk. But number two, it's like you could also just go find out if it's actually going to happen or not. It might not happen. And, I feel this first part of the reading is kind of saying don't let your fears hold you back from something that you want. You have the world. The world is coming up in the area of what's on your mind, or the area of your thoughts, and the world is like thinking about an accomplishment, or thinking about creating your own world. I do feel like a little bit of a need to release control. I don't really know how to explain what I want to say here, Leo. Bear with me. But it's like I hear a lot of stories from people where they're like, oh, I want a relationship, and so, this next person, I'm going to do this, and this so that they don't leave me, or whatever. I'm like, yeah, but you know what you're doing? You're creating conditions for yourself where, number one, the person might not do those things in the first place. But it's like you're trying to force something to work instead of just allowing it to work, right? And so I kind of get that feeling off the world. I hope this is making sense where it's like saying and I'm not saying it's love, I'm just using that as an example, but, if you're entering into a situation, you're saying oh, I'm going to do this, and this so that this person doesn't leave me, or so that this business doesn't fail. It's like doing those things is actually going to cause the problem in the first place, right? And so there's a certain need to kind of release outcome in this reading. A certain need to, it's like riding a roller coaster, right? It's like there are certain things that you can't control, and there's a certain feeling of being out of control on a roller coaster, right? You have those highs and those lows, But it's about, what you do in those moments. And I feel the world is kind of asking you to, release the need for things to look a certain way. I don't know, we're going to clarify, we'll dig into this more. Next, in the area of your foundation, you have the Temperance card. And again, Temperance is kind of interesting because Temperance, he is trying to turn water into wine here. I like the Temperance card, but I always say he has this path behind him with this glowing crown. And this path is the path to glory. And so he's trying, sometimes I feel with the Temperance card, that he's trying to make his situation perfect, but it never will be perfect. Like he's trying to, make this something that it isn't. He's trying to perfect a situation before he gets on the journey. But I feel like the Temperance card is saying, no, you need to start the journey first and allow things to be perfect. And that's what I would do with the Temperance card. In the area of the past, you have this Entanglement card. It says, if you realize that you're in an entanglement, it may be time to move on or take a break. You have the Scales, a Balance card. It says, find balance within yourself, and things will balance out around you. Yes, it's like we cannot control external situations. Like I said, I hear this all the time where people are like, I'm going to do this in my next relationship so that the other person doesn't do that. And I'm always like, well, sure, you could say that, but, really, you can't control another person. There's nothing you can do to stop a person from doing anything. It's like when I had that realization, it really set me free. There's nothing you can do to make people do anything, period. It's like it doesn't matter how many protections you put in place, doesn't matter how many boundaries you set, doesn't matter what rules you come up with, right? People are going to do what they're going to do. And the quicker you realize that, I think the quicker you're going to set yourself free. And really also there is no explanation for why people do what they do, right? And sometimes that's the best answer as well. So, I think it's a much more free way to live, and working on yourself is all you have to do. You have the Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is everything you want and desire in your life. So this is coming up in your past position. Just because it's coming up in your past position doesn't mean you're still doing this. And as a matter of fact, we have the Sun and the Star coming up next. And so I feel you still have this dream for your life. The Ten of Pentacles is building, leaving a legacy. It is having that ultimate vision for your life. And I feel a lot of you, it's like you still have the vision. The Star, is your next card. The Star is having a North Star, having that one thing you work towards. And that's what I would make your focus with the Ten of Pentacles. Whatever your Ten of Pentacles is like, make it your focus and then things will work out for you. Next, in the area of the very near future, you have this Flexibility card and this Delight card. Yeah, be more flexible for sure, right? If you're being too stiff and you're saying I'm going to put up all these boundaries, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't have boundaries, of course, but I'm just saying instead of putting all these rules in front of yourself, being flexible and enjoying life. This Delight card is about enjoying life, and just kind of going with the flow will actually make things work out much, much better for you and much, much easier for you as well. And that's what I would focus on with that card. You have the Star also in the area of the very near future. Really good for healing as well. If you need to take a break and heal and, rest, relax, recover and all that other stuff, I would. The Star is also about focusing on your star, having that North Star vision. Especially with the Ten of Pentacles, getting clear on what you want and then taking the steps to get there is going to be important. With the Star card, the Sun and the Star, which you have the Sun next, can represent fame and fortune. Now, you're a Leo, you probably all want to become famous, so I would say that this is amazing for getting attention, standing out, all those other things. And things should start feeling better for you soon. I mean, Mars will be moving forward soon. It went retrograde in your sign, and so you might notice a change around this time, or in the coming days where you're starting to feel kind of back to your normal self. And of course, that is a good thing. Next, in your outcome row, you have this Financial Freedom card. It says, when you are financially free, your lack of money no longer defines the limitations in your life. You have this Envy card. It says, focusing on what others have is a drain on your energy. So I don't really feel that again. I think this is more kind of again, coming up with those rules I was talking about, thinking, oh, if I set these rules, then this thing will work this way. But rarely does that ever work. So, that's what I would work on. You have the Sun. The Sun is coming up in the area of your next few months. The Sun, of course, is your card, so this would be you showing up in a very strong position, getting a lot of attention. kind of says the sun is shining on you. So I feel really good about this. Things could be feeling like they're returning back to normal as well. I also get a little bit of selfishness in this reading, but I do not mean that in a bad way. I mean that in a good way. Like, I feel like you need to be putting yourself first, right? So I would definitely be doing things to make sure that you put yourself first. Again, like I said, I think sometimes, I'm just using relationships as an example, like I said, but, it's like sometimes in love, I think we set these rules out. And it's like people can pick up on that. Like if you're saying, oh, I'm going to, make this person jump through all these hoops to be in a relationship with me, it's like almost like an insecurity. It's like you're saying, and I'm not calling you out here, Leo, we've all done it, right? So I'm not calling you out, but I'm just saying, it's like I think people can pick up on it. And they can be like, this person's acting weird, clearly because they were hurt. And now I can tell that they're not over it. So then they start acting weird, and then you're both weird. You're both being weird, and then it doesn't work out. So, again, I kind of feel this is about, when you put yourself first and you also kind of like work on yourself, then you don't really have to worry about those things happening in the first place, right? And so there you go. Next, in the area of your closest relationships, we have the Three of Swords. So, like I said, I feel some of you need to heal your heartbreaks or things that you've been through. Also, like I said, this does not have to be love. I feel Leo has, kind of had to deal with issues like in work and business and career, and, things not being all sunshine, rainbows, and unicorns, right? So I feel like the Three of Swords is saying it would be, and also the Star I feel are saying it would be a great time for you to heal, take time for yourself, practice forgiveness. Those three swords are in your own heart, and the whole point of the Three of Swords is to heal your heart, which I think would be a great thing for you to do. And so I would work on your heart-based energies and, work on healing your heart in general. Next, in the area of your future feelings, it really wouldn't be a Leo reading without the Five of Swords. So, it is what it is. The Five of Swords is my card of taking a risk. I definitely feel there's a risk that you have to take. You always get the Five of Swords with me. Like the past many readings, you've had the Five of Swords in the good stuff as well. And so that really tells me that this isn't like a bad thing. It might feel uncomfortable, of course, to take some sort of risk, but I feel like the risk is exactly what you need to do. This could be the risk of opening up to the potential to get hurt again, in love or business or your career or whatever it is. It's like, Nine of Swords, Wheel of Fortune. It's like the Wheel of Fortune says you have the power to turn your situation around. The Nine of Swords is saying that you could be fearing, what if it doesn't work? But it's like, yeah, what if it doesn't work? Who cares, right? Then you'll just do it again. So I feel that this is about taking the risk of kind of, trying to do something again. You have the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands is the wounded warrior. I mean, it's basically just repeating everything we've talked about. You've been through these challenges, and the Nine of Wands needs to try again. So it's a little bit of a second chance reading. I don't know that I would call it a second chance reading. It's more like you are putting yourself out there, needing to get attention, in a positive way, of course. And the Nine of Wands is my card of throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks, so I think it would be a great time to experiment as well. You cannot make this up. With the Wheel of Fortune and Nine of Swords, you have the Nine of Wands again. So, Nine of Wands is my card of being willing to experiment. He needs to again try some new things in his life, and he needs to throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks instead of being, focused on things needing to work this way, too fixed on how things are going in your life. Being more flexible is kind of a trick with the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands also says don't give up on something that you truly want as well. With the World, you have, two cards that want to pop out here. You have the Four of Swords and the Four of Wands. Again, healing is coming up about 100 times in your reading. So, with the Four of Swords, resting, relaxing, recovering would be a good idea. The Four of Swords is also about asking for something. He is praying or hoping for a blessing, so, I feel that too. The Four of Wands is, of course, marriage, but, in this reading I feel that you need to commit. This is not, and I'm not talking about love here, although, that absolutely could be part of it if that's what you want. I feel that it's whatever this is, the Sun and the Star in your reading. It's like clearly there's something, special that you see with the Star. There's something that you want to create or work towards because, again, the Star is like your North Star. It is that guiding light, that one thing that you set out to accomplish. And the Four of Wands is saying, make that full commitment to accomplishing whatever it is. With the Temperance card, you have the Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles is a big opportunity that has a lot of potential. You always get the Ace of Pentacles with me nowadays as well. So the Ace of Pentacles is just potential. It means absolutely nothing. And, maybe that's what this reading is talking about. It's like talking about the fear of potential, the fact that, everything has the potential to go in all sorts of directions. Life is chaos and we just have to embrace it because it's like really, ultimately, we cannot control the direction of anything. We can only control ourselves, right? That's it. So, the Ace of Pentacles says, hey, there's like a really good opportunity that, could have to do with your vision, your ultimate vision, but you have to take the risk. So definitely a time for taking a risk. With the Ten of Pentacles, you have the High Priestess, another card that you get with me all the time. The High Priestess is, again, unlimited potential. The whole point of her card is that she has no roof over her head, so there are no limits to what she can accomplish. The only limit is her. And the whole entire reading says that. The High Priestess also says, trust your intuition. So it's a great time to tap into that intuition of yours and listen to it, and really trust your gut. With the Star card, you have the Wheel of Fortune again. Whenever we have these repeating cards, it's basically the universe saying, I meant what I said. So repeating cards, especially when you have more than one like you do in this reading, it's kind of like the ultimate confirmation from the universe saying that you're on the right path. I feel you need to make your move towards the star, whatever your star is in your life. Again, the star is like having a North Star. It's having that one big goal, wish, or dream that you want to accomplish. And the wheel is saying you have to take control of the situation by, doubling down on the good stuff, getting rid of the bad stuff, facing your fears. Self-education is another good thing you can do with the Wheel of Fortune about whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. But, the reading is saying it's definitely time to go for it. With the Sun, you have the Queen of Swords. Pretty good in a reading like this because the Queen of Swords, she only has clouds halfway up her body. And the whole point of the Queen of Swords is that she sees things clearly for the first time. And so this could say that you are seeing what will make you happy in life, more clearly. And so I feel you need to do more of the things that, bring happiness and joy into your life. And at least you're seeing that clearly. With the Three of Swords, you have the Knight of Cups. Definitely the fear of love coming up here. Like there could be love, coming in for those of you that want it. The Knight of Cups would be a knight in shining armor. But, I feel like that Three of Swords is something that needs to heal so that this can be a good thing in your life. And, again, I would release the need for something to work out, Or, I feel like that would, if you are attracting love, I feel like doing things to make this work is going to make it not work. I know, that sounds weird, right? But that's really what I feel needs to happen. It's like, if you enter into this with a bunch of rules or, if you enter into this thinking like, oh, I'm not going to respond to, any of those stupid games that people play, like I'm going to wait 1 hour before I respond to this person's text message. It's like I see all these things on TikTok where, girls, men and women both, right, are saying like, oh, do this every time he does this, do this every time she does that. I'm like, do people not realize that, number one, people know, right? It's like a person knows like, oh, this person is clearly waiting an hour between text messages. That's clearly the game that they're playing, right? So it's like all these, there's a million of them. That's just like one of the examples I can think of. You know what the other funny thing is to me as well about these stupid little games? It's like both men and women do it, right? It's like I see this advice from men, these men that are like, oh, if you want to get a girl, you just don't do this. I'm like, and then I'll watch a video about girls, the girl will be like, oh, if you want to get a man, just do this. I'm like, you're both playing the same game with each other. That seems pretty stupid to me. I don't know, maybe I don't know. But what I would say here is like this, I feel like this person probably knows, right? And so I feel this is saying, act natural and, don't play these games. With the Five of Swords, here you go, you have the Ten of Pentacles. Yes, you have to take a risk to get your Ten of Pentacles because it only is potential. Potential means nothing. And this comes up for you every single reading, Leo. Like, I want to motivate you because I feel like you have so much potential, right? With the Nine of Wands, you have the Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles is straightforward, diligent work, and Eight of Pentacles is also material success on the horizon. So I feel that there's a lot of success potential for you just in general, but you have to put the work in to make it happen, and that's what I would do here. You can't make this stuff up. You have this target card. It says a goal-oriented person. Clearly, you have the Wheel of Fortune, which kind of looks like a target, and you have it with the star, which is like your guiding light, the thing that you want to accomplish. So there you go. Can't make this one up either. Says Whale. Says great worry over nothing, 9 of Swords, so needing to let go of your worries. I'm going to say it again, can't make this one up either. It says increase your efforts if you want to achieve your goals. That's basically what we said this entire reading, Leo. So there you go. You have this May card and you have this bird flying. Says news is on the way. I would really consider the time ahead as the true beginning of this next phase for you because, we've had a lot of retrograde energy that has been affecting you, even though it may not feel like it right now. And we really don't get out of that shadow energy until a little later on. That does not mean you shouldn't do anything today or tomorrow. It just means that, again, I think that things could feel like they're moving forward more as time goes on. But like I said, that does not mean that you shouldn't put work in now. You have this archway. It says new opportunities, possibilities, and paths opening up. Do I have to say it? You can't make this up, Leo. The whole entire time we were talking about possibilities, so there are clearly possibilities and potentials opening up for you, and I would embrace them. I really like this reading though. I know that maybe it doesn't sound great, but actually I think this is a very good reading. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.